So what we want to do is we want to actually have a king corner. Let's just say a warrior corner. And you might want to get, maybe you don't have a card. Maybe you have something else. The thing is you get it, bring them over about 3 meters away, like step 3. So we've got some space. We put the warrior down on the ground and we anchor it. So now we've got these 4 out into the 4 corners of our room. And yes, you could put this up on your wall with a bit of blue tack. Now, what happens is when you walk from the warrior and you get across to the king, the energy shifts. The energy shifts and you step into the king. Now, because these positions are on the carpet or in the grass, the positions on the ground become the anchor. So as a person moves towards the king, it starts to activate the king energy.
Hi there, welcome to the replay of our after hours discussions with professional coaches. Your exclusive complimentary Sunday session for all of our community around the world, where coaching minds unite with our people to create real world results. I am Adrian Cahill, your host and founder of the Motivate community, and more recently, Monday Morning Motivation. As a global trainer in NLP, neuro-linguistic programming, coaching, and hypnosis, this weekly gathering brings some of my colleagues from trainings, my fellow students and coaches all together in one place where we can discuss, share, help change the world by delivering free, quality information that's here to help you transform.
I hope you can see the screen. If you can't see the screen, it's just some pictures of us, some of us guys having fun in Bali. 25 people, 20 in Bali. We also had Jay and another 20 of us in Bali last January. We didn't do this year. Dan, thanks for coming. Thanks for turning your camera on, man. Oh, God, I'm jealous.
Sorry
so
for
much
being
hair,
late,
brother. Happy birthday.
Hey, thank you very much. Thank you. Sorry for being late. We went out to dinner and yes, trying to keep track of the time. But thanks, man.
We won't sing happy birthday then. And I won't tell people it was just your birthday. I will skip that bit.
We'll just keep that between us.
All right. So you guys can see the picture of us in Bali. We're doing that. We love NLP. And what I do there is I brought 5 trainers and a mentor. I think that was right. So we had 5 of us basically training, 5 or 6 of us. And one of them, Peter, was here about a month ago talking about the Joker archetype. And we had a whole session on the Joker, or sorry, not the Joker, the Jester, the Fool. And it's a very interesting archetype. When you run deep into the archetypes, they normally take you in different directions, but the Joker takes you to some other directions, starting with the word J. Yeah, just think about what other words start with J. Right, so archetypes, let's start. Screen changed. You can now see my little picture, archetypes in the park. Great. I want to bring various trainers because I don't want the students to imitate me. I mean, they can imitate me, but I don't want everyone that's at Bali NLP to be a coach like me. I want them to be a coach like themselves. So by having different people, they see different examples. They see a soft approach, a hard approach, or perhaps a more extrovert approach and then an introvert approach. Yeah. Now, there's really no such thing as an extrovert. Yeah. There's no real such thing as an extrovert, but you can have or you can show extrovert behavior. Yeah. You can show introvert behavior, but can you do both at the same time? It's kind of like a yes or a no, or an introvert and an extrovert. It's almost like a scale like this, right? And this is where we really get archetypes. It's not about introvert or extrovert. It's a preference for introversion, or a behavior towards introversion, or a behavior towards extroversion. And as soon as you raise one, the other one goes down. It's not a preference, it's a fact. So I kind of like sacred geometry because it's a lot close. It's pretty close to truth. And you could say it runs through religions. You could say it's above or beyond religion. You could also say some archetypes of religion could be found in here. And if you want, you could even throw like, if anyone here is Hindu or a yogi, you could probably do this with Shiva or Ganesha. And if anyone here was Greek, you could probably throw out Greek archetypes. But we'll be throwing them over these lines of sacred geometry. Just a little bit about me, trainer, coach, dad. I started this community actually back around 2012 for a couple of other expats in Shanghai. Rather than going to Toastmasters, we thought we would just get together and do our own workshops. It's a good thing about being a teacher in China is a lot of people wanted to learn English. So Shanghai's got 26 million people. All right, so they're not Chinese just aren't looking for necessarily anything. They can watch it on TV. We would do classes and we would focus on NLP or personality, play games. And we would have 10, 20, 30, 40 people come. Yeah, foreigners as well. So we became a great base for expatriates that are passionate about personal development. And that's my community that I started in Shanghai. But then I left and other expats took it over. Every time I left, other expats would take it over. And during COVID, we heavily moved from COVID to this virtual space. So otherwise, I'm a professional coach, trainer, and assessor. I actually did a trainer and assessor qualification with Dan here. Dan, not the birthday boy Dan, the one whose birthday was a couple of days ago. We did a trainer and assessor. And Dan, do you work with TAFE? Or in the RTO space at all? Are you using that qualification?
Yeah, I am. Yeah, I'm using it pretty actively to train and engage students, and I love it. I love being a trainer, assessor, and mentor because it really unlocks the confidence in people, both not only raising their competence, but also unlocking their confidence as a human being and as somebody doing something. I think that's the most self-rewarding thing as a trainer, assessor, and mentor, because you can teach anybody to screw in a light bulb, but if you can teach them the confidence in being able to do something, that's amazing.
Lovely, lovely. We kind of go towards, well, let's not teach them to turn a light bulb in, but let's help teach them how to learn or simply back up that they can learn. We love the meta learning. That is not just putting a light bulb in, it's getting them to have the confidence to do it and learn from mistakes. Now, can I ask a few other people, throw out, what kind of labels do we use? We've got a couple of life coaches, yogis, MKP leaders. What other labels do you use?
Like a coach?
Kenya has two at least good labels. Labels. What labels do you use, Darko? Coach, mentor.
Coach, mentor, yes.
Yeah. Jay and Tanya, what labels are you using at the moment?
Also counselor.
Counselor.
Counselor, yes.
Counselor. Yep.
Actually, yeah, Adrian, I basically just use mostly these days an elder and men's group associate, but I still put myself out as I changed my name tonight to NLP practitioner because that's actually the source behind what I do.
Lovely, Jay. Lovely. And I see a few names getting thrown out there. It doesn't matter what name you want to use. You're using any of these labels. I think you can benefit a lot from this session tonight. Well, my official labels, probably trainer and assessor. No, I don't know. Labels change each week. But I would love to use a label, something along the lines of holistic or ecological translator. Someone who translates ecology. So the actual purpose of using the labels, be it coach, mentor, facilitator, I think a lot of us are going for a form of helping people grow into a better version of themselves. Yeah. Maybe it's helping them be a better version of themselves so they can get the qualification. Maybe a better version of themselves so that they can get the love of their life or get their life on track. Yeah. Often what the person comes for, we're delivering them something much more than that. Yeah. Teach a man to fish. Yeah. Teach him how to make a fishing rod instead. Anyway. So the work we're covering is these beautiful archetypes, and I'll show you and give you some copies of it if you really want to. The lineage or path for this, it originated for me personally, classical NLP. Classical NLP is like a 5-day, 6-7 day training, done short and condensed. Later on, I did some coaching, then new code NLP. New code NLP is like a whole next level, understanding the coding behind it all. So to understand the way it's all kind of coded at the back. I came across this book, Iron John, man's book, followed by King, Warrior, Magician, Lover by Moore, some one-to-one and some group men's psychotherapy training. Yeah, so this is kind of like the line for the men's work here. And this is a bit like men's, but women, you're going to grow from this just as much as us men will. After doing this kind of work, I found MKP. I found MKP online because one of my mentors and the gentleman that was running a lot of the psychotherapy training for men, he's a speaker or a trainer at the MKP. But then I met Jay here, and Jay introduced me to the Mankind Project. Mankind Project, absolutely wonderful collection of men who have their cause to help other men. And they use this King, Warrior, Magician, Lover model. So there's a book, King, Warrior, Magician, Lover. And in that book, it talks about these 4 archetypes. And the Mankind Project run their men's group using King round, Warrior round, Magician round, Lover round. They do an absolutely wonderful and blessed job with it. Yeah. And from these experiences, I've gone back to the model numerous times, and it just gets better and better and better. And I can't believe I keep coming back to this model. And every time I come back, I find some more magic. Every time I take someone else through it, I find more. Mark and I went through it last week, and I discovered a new pattern in it. Mark, when we were doing it, we found a little with something. So I went deep on that and found some shadow. Yep. Now, as I mentioned before, archetypes is actually more mathematical. It's not choice. It's not judging. Yeah, real archetypes are the preference. If you're going through, you get the arc, you get the angle, you get the arc, and then you get the type. So the type meaning anything in this area, hence archetype. So you can use this like a mathematical formula. A lot of industries and multinational corporations, where they have their human resources, all human resource people will have a couple of tools under their belt, like the Myers-Briggs or the DISC assessment. The DISC assessment, DISC, has 4 archetypes. Myers-Briggs breaks up, and I don't know if I'd actually call them archetypes. But basically a DISC breaks people into 4 archetypes, and Myers-Briggs in 16 or 32. Add a letter to the end, then you multiply the results. Yeah. So when you see something like a shell or the roots of a tree or a flower growing, it doesn't really have a preference. It just goes. You would say a tree grows towards the sun. The sunflowers are absolutely beautiful. They grow up and you'll see the sunflower open up and get the morning sun. And through the sunflower are the patterns, the Fibonacci sequence, maybe some other stuff I don't quite understand. I don't understand a lot of it. Like electricity. You don't have to necessarily understand it to turn a light on, the light in here. So the flower goes up through the Fibonacci sequence, through the growth, becomes a beautiful flower. But what about underneath the ground? And that brings up that saying, for a man or for a person to reach heaven, the roots must reach hell. I don't know if I believe in that. As above, so below. As above, so below. Beautiful. Now, the archetypes are patterns that we humans run. So we're not looking at the patterns in nature, but we can. We really see the fractals more in nature, perhaps. But us humans are constantly evolving. And this really doesn't matter if you are a girl or a boy, woman, man. We're evolving. And if our particular direction is like the sunflower going up, we'll go up in probably repeatable patterns. Tomorrow, most people will be pretty much like they are today, just a little bit different. Every day, just a little bit different. So it gets a bit more interesting and complicated with human beings, because a lot of the time, part of us wants to be a warrior and part of us freaking doesn't. Okay, I'm going to shut up for a moment. Who's been a warrior today? What have you done that's been like a warrior today? I went to soccer and watched my boy play soccer and I cheered him on like, whoop. What did you guys do like a warrior today?
I worry about I can whether I can.
Sorry, Sunny. Sunny said she worries. Worry. Did we see it? Did it say warrior or warrior? Warrior or warrior? Sorry, Sunny. Please continue.
Oh, sorry. So it's not a worry. That WORY.
Well, I think that's hilarious. And you're not the first person to say warrior or warrior. But if you can see the screen share, Sonny, if you can see the screen share, we got a strong warrior. Warrior, sorry. But warriors are warriors. Warriors are warriors. Warriors are warriors, aren't they? Now, can someone with better English and cleaner English than mine say that to Sonny?
Okay, hey, listen, Alden. The warrior is the one who uses energy to achieve things. And it's interesting they show the sword, which is the more traditional way of a warrior. But in Mankind Project, the way we use it, the warrior is the man who uses his energy to serve and to create or do whatever he needs to do to have influence in his sphere with him. So warrior uses energy to create or do. That's my explanation.
Yes. Okay, thank you. I got it.
And a man and a woman can both do that. Okay?
Yeah.
Men and women can both do that. Okay? Men and women can both do that. Totally.
So as an example, today, straight after church, I decided I was going to restack the storage unit because I've moved, and I went there and I slaved and I got sweaty and I pulled things out and rearranged and I completed a task and I felt very good after it. So I think part of being in warrior and using energy is the after effect, also the satisfaction of achievement. And I think that's part of it. That's my part. Thank you.
Right on, but you see, Jay isn't wearing an armor and he's not carrying a sword. It's not about a sword. It's not about the armor. It's about that energy and going forward, taking action, protecting. It's a lot of this. Now, there are some boundaries, but the boundaries are pretty thin, you know. And I say this with my children a lot. If they want to go really good at sport or something, you might have to practice and you might need the discipline. Warrior is the home of discipline. Yeah. Now the energy here, well, we'll get into the actual energy of it. Yeah. So this is an important role, and it doesn't matter if you're young or old. You see, we're not actually talking about a warrior out there anymore. We can be. We're talking about the warrior in us. Now we're going to use a king, warrior, magician, lover model here. We're going to use this model, but I'll also show you and explain it to you how you can make your own model instead. Or perhaps you could flip this and make a feminine version. The words feminine and masculine, let's leave them out for tonight. If we can, though, maybe use yin and yang. Consider yang exploring going forward action. Yang, I think in Chinese, someone can correct. Yang is action. Yin is balance and still. Yeah? The feminine king, warrior, lover, magician, whatever. The female version would be, you throw a queen in there, a warrioress. Yeah. But then it would have a more feminine approach or a feminine start. But we're leaving that out of this for now. So we're using the king, warrior, magician, lover, and we are using 2 axes or 2 lines. Yeah. We have multiple lines, and this whole picture will make sense for you in a minute or two. But they're all at different ends of the seesaw. Only we don't have one seesaw, we've got 2 seesaws. The first seesaw, we have our internal or external focus. Are we focused on the internal world or the external world? The external world being, as you can see on the screen, our internal, our feelings, our values, and our human values, yeah? Maybe our imagination, maybe what's happening inside of us, maybe connections between other people. But we're looking at the internal world, relationships, a lot of things we cannot really talk that well about. Now, in this internal world, this is where we have the lover and the magician hanging out. They're more in the internal world. If we go to the other side of the axis, the external world, then we've got the king and the warrior, because the warrior isn't slicing feelings. The warrior may have feelings, but he is protecting people. He is climbing physical mountains. There is a parallel story going on about the warrior conquering his demons in his mind, but the warrior is in the external world working with things, materials, objects, and the king as well. So we've got 2 axes, one's going left to right, one going up and down. So the first axis is internal or external feeling. The next axis is options and procedures. Yeah. Options, open. Some people, when they go on a holiday, they like to keep it really open. Focused on new possibilities, curious, flexible, going with the flow. Yeah. Going with the flow, the moving times. This is a warrior and the lover, going with the flow, updating. But on the other side of the side, you got more order, structure. So the king isn't organizing feelings, he's organizing resources, farms, people, time. Yeah? More in the material world. Magician, yes, magician is magician coach healers. Magician coach healers. You're working largely with magic and feelings, but that's why we like to teach NLP, is rather than, if you want to, instead of working with magician love and feelings like a healer, you could also work with money material worlds as a king. And if you use your NLP or your personal development skills to build a kingdom, you'll simply build a bigger kingdom. But there's a bit of a cost. Now, if you can look on the picture, I know it's a bit small, but the top left, I've got a king. And that means the bottom right, diagonally opposite, I've got a lover. So sometimes we're going to have to make decisions. I'm a bit worried about stopping that. No, okay. Gonna pause the screen for a second. So guys, you can do this yourself at home. You can get a piece of paper, you can draw a line north to south. If you like to. You can do something like that if you want to, and write in your archetypes if you want to on a piece of paper. I just write WKLM. Another way you can do it is you get a piece of paper on top, extrovert, down the bottom, introvert, or sorry, E, external, I, internal. Now, I was hired to do training for IKEA in Hangzhou. I had no idea what the hell I was doing, but I knew how to make archetypes. So I was paid. It was great. 3,000, 2.5 grand for one day. And I got like 30 tech guys around, all tech. So you think all tech, maybe they're like engineers, they're all like nerdy tech guys, but some of the nerdy tech guys are cool. They're more cool now. There are the variety of tech guys. But what I figured I would do was I got everyone in the room, and then I went, okay, everyone who considers himself an introvert or prefers hanging out with computer systems and complex relationships and feelings. If you like the feeling world and all this extrovert and people skills, you're on that side. If you're a bit more of an introvert like me, you're on this side. Now, it's very important you say, like, if you're an introvert like me, go on this side, because if I'm like, this is the wanker side, and if you're cool on that side, some people on the fence are going to go, I want to be cool. Right? But anyway, I was there for a bunch of IKEA, so all the extroverts on one side, all the introverts on the other. Yep. Great. Let's split the room up again, and I'll walk forward. On this front side of the room, I want everyone that's intuitive. You guys know the Myers-Briggs. It starts with introvert, extrovert. The next one is intuitive sensory. So everyone that's intuitive. Now, you guys stay on that side, stay on that side, stay on that side, okay? So I got the extroverts and the introverts, but now I'm splitting them again. Everyone who's intuitive, you've got your head in the clouds, you're thinking ahead, you're at the front of the class here. Excellent. Now, if you're more grounded, if you're more of a grounded person, maybe a bit more calm, it's a bit more grounded, perhaps more of a manager than a leader. Yeah, you can be a great leader and manager, but there's very, very few. Statistically, there's very few. If you're more of a manager, come on this side of the room. Okay. I then had 4 quadrants. Extrovert, intuitive. They're great for going out there and getting sales and sales leads, yeah. Extrovert, sensory. They're great following up on leads, making sure everyone was called, making sure deliveries are on time and done, that they'll do the phone calls, yeah. They've got their finger on the pulse, they're leaders. Introvert side, introvert leaders, develop tech. Introvert sensory, fault find tech. Right? So I split a room into 4 lots of personalities. Yeah? So you can break up and make up your own archetypes, okay? You can make your own models. You just need 2 axes. You can, and I would like to, Jay, don't do this. It'll be a bit too much work for you. You've been using the 4 model for so long, but what could be cool would be a 3 model. But the 3 models of triangles are a whole different set of shapes. Right. Now, whenever you're doing training, you can consider breaking 4 people up. Now, the thing is all of those positions, all those quadrants have a strength where they're going to shine. And you also get distance. Some people are very, very, very intuitive, and some people are on the line where they're like a little bit of this, a little bit of that. Yeah? So you do get some people around the lines, which you may consider more balanced, and some that are way out there, like Elon Musk, way out there, highly, highly introverted, but, sorry, not highly, highly intuitive. But what makes him so awesome for me is that he has the ability to go zoom, right down. But anyway, we're not here talking about Elon Musk or Trump's personality today. No Trump jokes. So some other expansions, I have seen this, and this particular map here has past and future thrown into it. because you can't really be in the past and the future at the same time. So in the past, in the future, where's in the present? Sorry, I just gave it away, didn't I? Present. Yeah. You can add to this model self and other, like where's your focus? You focus more on yourself, you focus more on others. Concrete, specific or abstract, active or receptive. We're not actually a warrior. What we're doing is we are leaning towards a preference. See, it would be wonderful to, no, it wouldn't be wonderful to sit in the middle. If you're sitting in the middle here, you're not actually doing anything. You're sitting in the middle. Imagine meditating in a quiet room. You're in the middle, you're meditating. What comes to mind? Nothing. That's right. I'm focusing on nothing. Oh, I got to call someone. Oh, I got to pay the bill. No, don't pay the bill. Don't pay the bill. You're sitting still. So you go back to center. And then your dog nudges you. Oh, you're like, oh, I love you, dog. I love you, dog. And you're patting your dog. You're giving preference to your feelings in the moment. So you're patting your dog. No, sorry, dog. I've got to meditate, dog. Go. Come on, boy. Go. Have fun, boy. Okay. Meditate harder this time. Yeah. Oh, I give up. Dog, come back here. Or screw all this, I'm a king. I don't have to meditate. I've worked hard on my life. I'm going to spend my money and make myself happy with my money. Where are my people? That's right. It's 2025. You don't have people like that anymore. Okay, so yeah, we have all of these now. In the good form, they have some gold. Now we're going to focus on these archetypes: king, warrior, magician, lover, okay? Yes, we could focus on the MYBTI. Yes, we could focus on entrepreneuring. Yes, we could focus on love. We could make archetypes on relationships, but this archetype model we're looking at today is the king, warrior, magician, lover model. And all of them have some gold. You may know someone who spends a lot of time in the king role or the queen role, but you have your own kingdom. You're building things in reality. Maybe when you go to courses, sometimes you look at getting a certificate because your certificate may form part of your brand. What about your brand? Your company? That's all part of your kingdom, I think. Yeah? Recognition, money, etc. The warrior, so the king there, what it is you're leaning towards what's external and structure. External to you and structure, countable, procedures, likes, key opinion leaders could be building a kingdom of likes. It doesn't necessarily mean you can have money. A king with money has figured out some stuff about money. Someone who's a king and they have 10,000 followers on Instagram or whatever, they figured out the Instagram follow me kingdom. Yeah, unfortunately, it doesn't always eventuate across to money. So sometimes people can get caught up making the wrong kind of kingdom. Sometimes a kingdom might just be struggling because the warrior comes in. Now, the warrior is also on the external, but the warrior likes to have more options. And the warrior who takes a lot of action and courage may not know about investing in the stock market. The warrior in you may not know about a kingdom. But what the warrior does know is, I've got to protect this outside world. I've got to take action out here. My preference is different options, different pathways in the external world. Being a military veteran, I had some good warrior. Having children, I became a very good warrior, and I started worrying about my children. And I was taking action to help them in the world, and I have to have a lot of options and a lot of ways to be flexible with the kids. So a mother can be an amazing warrior. Really, really good parenting, I think, can be a great warrior. stay at home father or mother that pays all the bills, make sure there's enough food on the plate, make sure the rent's paid and everything. To me, that's a bit more a king queen. Yeah. A warrior might try to make more money by working harder, not smarter. If you're going to work smarter, you got to get back over to the other side of the house, to the procedures, the magician. The magician is more about working smarter. The magician has figured out some of the internal world. Great magician has more and more of the internal world figured out, and he knows there are procedures at play. There is structure. That's an essential difference between, I know, in wealth creation and also good body creation. I'm the smaller. Creating body or creating a kingdom is similar. It's a type of external focus and procedures. So there's certain strategies that make that happen. And magicians are really good at strategy, making strategies, creating strategies, internal strategies, where the king is a bit more of external strategy. Now, some of us, Mark and I the other day, and a lot more, get over to the lover, and sometimes the lover seems like a pain in the butt. Because the lover is all about the internal world and options. Yeah, there's openness and feeling, imagination, connection, but this stuff changes rapidly. Connections and emotions and relationships. And it's a bit hairy-fairy to me. So, mate, as an army veteran and a male, strong male who coaches people for success, the lover to me is often a pain in the ass. It's a bit of a weakness. No, it's not. It's not. I found in a lot of different places, sometimes lover was considered as a weak spot. It's not necessarily weak. But what's the freaking point? What is the point in having a kingdom if we have depression and our kids are doing suicide? What's the point in being a warrior if we're driving our kids away from us and the people we love? Lover is incredibly important. All four of these are incredibly important. The more they're balanced, we find gold. But they can get out of balance, like too much love. Guilty. I've been obsessed before. Yeah, that's a weakness of the lover. They can get obsessed. Yeah. Now, if I become obsessed, then I'm out of balance. Yep. Okay. Okay, so this is for these four archetypes: king, warrior, magician, lover, and their gold. Would anyone like to ask any questions? Do feel free. Is there other gold? Yes. Is it maybe a bit of this and a bit of that? Yes. Sometimes it may be a bit of this and a bit of that. But over the last, I don't know, hundreds or thousands of years, we've been using stories to educate our kids. So we've learned so much about gold and balance and unbalanced through all these stories, parables, Bibles, Qurans, religious books, Greek mythology, archetypes running all through it. So many movies, or Joseph Campbell. You'll see it over and over again. The king archetype, the warrior, the magician, and the lover. Now, you might get another archetype called the joker or the fool. The fool? The fool's hard to explain, so we'll leave the fool out of it tonight. But I guarantee if Peter does the fool again, you want to turn up and see it and experience it. Peter, thanks for your fool workshop. That was awesome. Hey, Peter, just quickly, mate. How long have you been working on the fool archetype or exploring it?
It's 4 years now. But I see a fun energy in you this evening, and I'm enjoying it. The Joker.
I love the freaking Joker archetype, man. I love it. But it was because of you and my kids that I kind of stumbled across it from you. Actually, it was from you, and then with you and the kids. Hey, Joy, can you do can you do a laugh for me? My daughter gave me the most evil laugh one day in the kitchen, and then just started laughing. And then Peter's joke on the fool. So accessing the fool was an archetype, which is really beneficial for me. But if you do go to study the fool like Peter, I'd urge you to get a good base. Get a good base. Get a good base. Get some good support and a good base before you do it. And Peter, congrats on that work at the pub in Ireland, pub acting. So Peter's been using acting in comedy, and even though he's been in the NLP world and is a trainer of NLP, what he uses the magic NLP in acting and having fun. Yeah.
Adrian, the procedures. Sorry, that's a great segue into the procedures and options. So the procedures are the planning, and the options are being just in the world. Is it like not planning, but just making decisions in that intuitive sense?
Close. Very close. Making decisions and a preference to maybe not making decisions. A preference to not make decisions, so you keep your options open. And some people will like to make their decisions. And from that, you kind of get making decisions. You get kind of like closing the pathway. And the person wants to keep options open is keeping the pathway open. Now, I know that from a feeling sense, but I'm not sure from a deeper perspective what words to throw into that. So, guys, we have experiences like some archetypes will do something like open up, but I don't know. Sometimes we don't know exactly what that word is. And sometimes the word comes out differently. So don't get too hung up in the labels here. Yeah. Normally, when you're reading a book and you get stuck with a word, good readers will step out and they'll read the whole sentence or the whole paragraph. And if the word, they still don't know it, they come back to it. But if you don't know the word, just skim over it for now. So if you don't know any words, just skim over it or write it in the chat. Bring it up. Okay, any other questions about the gold? Okay, because I'm going to ask you questions in a moment, guys. Let's look at the shadows instead. Oh, wrong slide. I with Darko's help, really probably 80-90% Darko here. Okay, we made up the self position in the very, very middle of it all. The self is in the middle. So smack bang in the middle of it all, we have our higher self. Now, Darko and I specifically picked higher self. And this higher self has a couple of particular qualities. So you're fully in the now. This is like a really good mindfulness position. You're in your body. You're aware of your heart, your breathing. You're centered in the now. This is important for emotional regulation. One of the absolute best ways to get results in the world, I believe, is to go through the center position. Often. I believe that a lot of us go around the positions rather than in the middle. Higher self is like bullseye. If you play darts, you can get the green bull, you can get the red bullseye. The higher self is getting in the bullseye. And the more you can get in the bullseye gives your whole nervous system a reset. A good higher self position is like hitting bullseye, is like having a shower. And all the emotion washes away and you're in a calm and center position, and then boom, you can take your shot. You can lean towards magician, lover, action, inaction, yin, yang, whatever you want, from a very good center position. What I found with a lot of the men, and when we did some men's groups here and other men here, a lot of the times the center felt like water or the center felt really fluid. So Darko and I made the center card, and I use the center card a lot, and I meditate next to the center card now. A different position, on the other hand, is when you step out. Now, I call this the observer position. Now, there's two pawns in this picture, two small little silver ones. See, the observer's detached. You're talking out-of-body experiences. You're talking being able to process a lot of things very, very fast. If you're being intellectual, you can see different perspectives, maybe hold multiple perspectives fast, yeah? But either way, you're detached. You're out of there. Now, when we do this, you can use your own archetype set. You can see the picture on the slide. These are my cards. I love them. I love them. Really proud of them. On the reverse of the cards, there are some instructions. So now if we're going to do archetypes as a class, as a facilitator, so this is a bit more for someone like Dan or Jay who's doing this for a class, we're going to start by choosing our archetypes, choose our axis. Well, let's say we're going to do King, Warrior, Magician, Lover. We'll use its axis, but if you're going to do the entrepreneur model, do the entrepreneur model. Next, step 2, create some props. Along with these props, here are a few more props. Hope you can see the screen. On the king side of the props, I've got a book, Ray Dalio, The World Changing Order. I've got a bunch of keys. You see, I've got 2 mobile phones, not 1, but 2, maybe 3. Birth certificate, paperwork, cash. Warrior side, I got some NWA. Jordan Peterson, we who wrestle with God, not we who love God, we who know God, we who wrestle with God, the warrior. Down the lover there, we've got a bit of non-violent communication, being me, loving you. I've got a candle and a mask, like an acting mask for acting. Versatility. And the bottom left there, I've got our Osho, Big Book of Secrets there. That is a meditation book and a half. That is thick. So Ray Dalio is considered thick, and I haven't read much of it. It's actually thick. So you set up your corners, but not as close as this. We want them to be spread out. Now, imagine if you've got kids or a loved one, wherever you feel the presence, you can bring whatever you want. Sometimes when I thought about these positions, I've got so many friggin' books here. Here's one. This is a book. I'm holding up a book. It's from a famous Australian entrepreneur called the Barefoot Investor. Barefoot Investor for kids. So I don't know what quadrant you would put this in. Someone, you want to take a guess? Where would you put this book? The Barefoot Investor. Learn how to make money for kids. Take a guess. Okay, I need someone with the microphone on though.
I think it's a warrior.
You think it's a warrior? Then for you, it's a warrior. Great. Dan, where would you throw this book? An investing book. How to make money.
King.
Okay.
No.
If it's a king for you, it's a king for you. If
I
it
would
feels
put it,
like a king for you, yep, Tanya?
I would put it in magician simply because we're talking about kids. So if it's a good book to help kids, it's got a certain kind of intuitive playfulness involved in it somewhere. That's what I'm thinking. But then that's how I approach teaching kids anyway. So
Now, if you're going to be doing this with kids, the answer that will be correct will probably be whatever will resonate most with the kids. Yeah, if I hold it up and say this is a warrior book and you're saying it's a magician book, okay, it's now, sorry, it's a magician book. It's what's important to you. It's how you want to classify it. It's how you, the person doing the exploration does it, right? Yeah, now I thought of the book and I thought this is a bit of a magician book for me. It's also a bit of a king book. But the book also says, save your money, kids. Discipline. So then it's got the warrior in it. And you're building a kingdom, right? So things can have multiple meanings. It's not so much the book, right? It's what these things bring out in you. So what we want to do is we want to actually have a king corner. Let's just say a warrior corner. And you might want to get, maybe you don't have a card. Maybe you have something else. The thing is you get it, bring them over about 3 meters away, like step 3. So we've got some space. We got some space. We put the warrior down on the ground and we anchor it. Anchor it. Yeah. Okay. Sorry. Put it down on the ground, anchor it on the ground, set it up. Okay. So now we've got these 4 out into the 4 corners of our room. And yes, you could put this up on your wall with a bit of blue tack. Could you do it on a wall like this? 1, 2, 3, 4? I wouldn't. I would actually put them in different corners or put them on a rug. Put them on a big rug. Now, what happens is when you walk from the warrior and you get across to the king, the energy shifts. The energy shifts and you step into the king. Now, because these positions are on the carpet or in the grass, the positions on the ground become the anchor. So as a person moves towards the king, it starts to activate the king energy. If he walks out of the square and walks out further and further and further, we're getting out to the observer. We're separating, we're stepping out. If they walk in towards the middle, they get closer and closer to their center, to the higher self position. So these positions on the grass end up being our anchor. People start to feel the energy. Can you feel energy? 100%. Everyone can feel energy. Anyone that does anything like Reiki will be a bit more in tune and will commit more of their life to sensing and feeling energy. But you can really easily sense energy sometimes. So we put this and we set this up on the grass before we bring our person over. When our lovely person comes over, hey, Johnny, welcome, Johnny. We're about to have an experience, Johnny. This is called Warrior, King, Lover, Magician, or this is called Archetypes, Johnny. All right, Johnny, before we start the archetypes, Johnny, something I want you to know. Out here, outside here, we are an observer. We are just out here looking, and that is the game there. Now, you see these pieces, King, Warrior, Lover, Magician, yeah? They're there. We're here. We are completely safe. In this game, Johnny, we are going to walk forward. Now, there's 2 different ways we can generally do this, and sorry, this is on step 4. We can say, Johnny, we are going to do this to solve your problem. I would not do it like that. Johnny, we're here to explore. We can explore anything. We can explore soccer, football, love, life, school, grades, family pressure, whatever you want. Now, out here, we are completely safe to explore. We're going to step in there. We're going to move around these positions and come back out here. It's really beneficial to step in and have these positions, but before the person steps in and doing it, we want to set it up first so that the person knows they're completely safe. That it's just an exploration. You can set it up to go for a specific agenda or just leave it as an exploration. The more it's left as an exploration, what's that energy like? Exploration. Open, exploring energy. Open, explore, yep. Now, we can go in specifically to solve an agenda, but I find the exploration to be really where the magic is. So we understand that we're safe outside, we can jump in, and we can pretend, we're going to pretend things. Yep. Now, we start walking, the person walk the explorer to each archetype. So walk them over to your king. As you get closer to your king, I'm going to skip the full explanation. As you get closer to your king, just put him in the king position, anchor it, anchor the king position. So you look at the king position, talk about the king position, look at it, talk about it. Evoke the king energy. Evoke the king energy and then step into the king. Feel the king energy. If you dramatize it, you'll be working wonders and children can love it. Now, kids, over there, you're actors. When you're here, you are the king. The king. Different ways to be a king. A king is worried about procedures. Blah, 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 blah. Do it from the king energy. Invite them in the king energy. Now step out of there. Step out of there. Shake it off. Oh, look at the sky. Oh, nice shoes. Sometimes if anyone gets stuck into emotions, just ask them about their shoes. Something like that. It's a distraction. Then get over to the next one. Repeat. Okay. There is the warrior. The warrior is like that. Yeah. Now we're going to start to feel that warrior. Now we're ready to stand and be the warrior. Warrior on. Yeah. Exaggerate the position at the start. Exaggerate all the positions at the start and it will become anchored to the ground or whatever kind of totems you put there. Yeah. Once all of these are set up, you're ready to rock. Where do you feel most comfortable? Where are you at? It's very easy from that point because as soon as you are at that point, you can see these on the ground and you can feel them. So it might be a matter of what's important to you? What do you want to create? What's holding you back? What's holding you back? Okay, you ready to be tested? Great. Final exam. Final exam. Because sometimes we have problems. So this is a shadow side, the unbalanced, the king. Too many external, too much procedures can lead to over control, rigidity, obsession with rules and hierarchies, suppress spontaneous, I hate that word, can become authoritarian. I do this sometimes with my kids. Kids, it's time, we go. I use my king voice and my kids come. But now, what's diagonally opposite the king?
Jester.
Ooh, not the jester, the lover. The lover. Right? So the shadow aspect of the king is the lover goes to hell. No, no, screw the lover. From a strong king position, lover's not important. So a lot of the lover stuff is going to be the shadow. Yeah, maybe lack of compassion. Lack of compassion for the customers. Yeah, lack of care. Okay, what about some of the shadow aspects of the warrior? Yeah,
treating everything like a war.
Treating everything like a war. Like that saying, to a hammer, everything's a nail. Yeah. Diagonally opposite the warrior is a magician. So the warrior will often work harder instead of smarter. Warriors will often work harder instead of smarter. So they end up knocking their head against the wall. Dunk, 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 dunk. They don't know when to give up. Great at holding on, maybe not good at letting go. Yeah. Magician. Magician can be able to trick its way out of hard work. Instead of doing the hard work, a magician may cheat on the test. A magician may cheat the system. Yeah, a magician may cheat people. May. Yeah. Shadow sides of a lover. A lover may neglect the kingdom. Yeah. Lovers can often get lost in the love and lost in the emotion and not actually take real world action. We're going back one to the magician. Maybe they're trying to do magic and manifestation. Please, universe, give me $1 million. No, don't give me a bloody job. I wanted $1 million, universe. Give me $1 million. Yeah. Can be trapped trying to manifest instead of taking action. The lovers can take action, but maybe the wrong kind of action. They're taking action to follow their love and getting obsessed on their love. Whatever shadow patterns whatever kind of problems you're having, some people have addictions. Addictions can be a shadow aspect of a lover. Yeah, can. Here's a few more. So the warrior, impulsive action without direction, or force without wisdom, aggressive, reactive, chasing challenges for ego rather than purpose. My dad said to me, Adrian, do you want to be a warrior all your life? Oh, not really. It's like, Dad, I want to be an activist. I want to protect the community. He's like, yeah, but do you want to be a fighter? No. Magician. Magician can withdraw into analysis and technique, detached, manipulative, overly intellectual, maybe even getting trapped in the system rather than engaging in reality. I know some people that are amazing magicians, but they haven't got a kingdom. They're amazing magicians, but they don't have a love. But they don't have the muscles. They got trapped in the magician world. Lover, over-emotional, boundaries collapse, indulgence, seeking connection without grounding, overwhelmed by feelings or lost in fantasy. A solution to all of these shadow aspects is coming to a strong self. Solution to all of these, come to a strong self, higher self position. That's why Darko and I made the self position. Sometimes people were saying that if you're having problems here, you want to be able to stand in the middle. And I saw a lot of people were not able to stand in the middle. Straight away, they were bouncing around. Okay. So, any questions about gold or shadow? Great. I would love to see you guys do this around your house and then find yourself some shadows. To be very honest, you can get the Warrior King Lover Magician book on YouTube. It's great. You can also use ChatGPT. You can set this up in your room and walk around having a conversation with ChatGPT. Turn on the voice so you have a conversation. ChatGPT, I'm exploring Warrior King Lover Magician archetypes. I'm a woman, I'm a man, I'm a father. You know me, ChatGPT. ChatGPT, what do you think are some of my shadows in the lover area? Great, thank you, Chat. ChatGPT, what are some of my shadows? Yep. There are so many different ways you can provoke thinking in here. There are so many ways you see things differently. There's no slide that will ever explain it enough. When these are marked out with physical space, you start to see and feel the energy between them. And then up comes any question. A day later, new question. I had this going with a beautiful magician woman from Sumatra who was a great meditator and a prayer woman. She would pray things into creation. She would just pray and they would manifest. At the same time, I had a big, strong PT guy here, a gym guy, and the gym guy was like, stop praying, you got to take action. The warrior thought the magician was crazy because she would pray, and she thought he was crazy because he was doing it all. He was a successful warrior. She was a successful magician. They sat on opposites. Doing it together was amazing. I would love to do this with couples and a lot more couples in small groups. Okay. If you want to take this further, like to share, you could work on the past, the present, the future. All of these archetypes have a preference for past, present, and future. In these cards, I added the past, future element in. When you find any of the shadows, I'd like to encourage you, if you do find shadows, one of the best things is just do end-step reframes on them. End-step reframe is like a reframe, only it gets to more of the root than the symptom. So you may hear the word reframe. End-step reframe is a way to access the unconscious power for the greater unconscious to solve the problem rather than a conscious reframe. As you do the exploration, you'll find some gold, like I'm actually really good at the lover. If you find gold, see if you can spread it further. If you are good at a magician, then you can learn accelerated learning and get good at the other positions. If you're a great disciplined person, you can use discipline with your emotions and build the emotional regulation skills or the emotional resilience, right? If you're as a king in a kingdom, great. Then you've got the resources to buy yourself a lover. And actually, that's that can go really, really in some bad ways. But you can also buy a therapist. Yeah. And maybe you can't buy a lover, so you buy yourself a therapist instead. Oh my God. Generalize the gold, share the gold, yeah? Another thing you can do, which I've been most passionate about, is developing the stronger self position. Whenever I do things like this, I get more passion for doing the inner work. And the best inner work I find is that higher self, developing the strong self position. So I can step out the others and back, yeah? Now, all we're doing while we're doing this is we're cultivating more awareness and choice. So if we are after a solution and we can see that we need to get into the lover element, maybe then we can make conscious decisions. Yeah, I'm not going to work late tonight on my project. I've had enough discipline and training today. I want to follow my feelings. Now I'm going to make a conscious choice. Okay, I'm going to put my feelings first and my lover first. Now, these other things are important, but I'm going to make a choice now. Rather than just making the unconscious choice to procrastinate, I'm actually going to choose to put my feelings first and work on my lover aspect. Okay, lover aspect. Lover aspect, I've left my work. I'm not procrastinating. I'm spending time being a lover. What's really important for my feelings now? What can I do for my feeling work so I can get back and do my work later? Okay, yeah, I think that wraps up the slides for tonight. I'm going to quickly, can I run through one or two more slides? Just want to share a couple more things. So further training, NLP we found to be the bomb. My first NLP training was the classical, the 80s version, 1980s NLP. Now, probably 97% of NLP around the world is this classical NLP. Some of us, like Peter and I, and the coaches around us, we go more into the new code. But wherever you are, you can always step forward and grab an NLP book. There's tons of them. And from the NLP, there's infinite fractals of modalities. So people get into kinesthetic healing or somatic coaching or breathwork coaching or mindset coaching, millionaire coaching, whatever kind of coaching kind of way, right? They're all fractals of change. Yeah. Now, if you get into the core of NLP, we're looking at the graduate certificate of NLP. That covers all the 80 stuff, the 90 stuff, the 2000 stuff, and the 2020 stuff. So the grad cert is a 1-year program that covers everything. It's big. I did it as a student. Peter, Jay, some people here have seen the work from that. That's 3 other options. A 4th one, you're welcome. My coaching schedule's, I rather do mentoring nowadays. Still doing coaching and training, but there's other coaches and trainers around now. Some coaches will be more in the warrior mindset, some more in the lover. I'm not after clients at the moment. I'm a bit more focused on bringing this out into the community because I think communities need stuff like this. I want to work with veterans in different lots and get people doing and exploring this. So our whole Motivate community is not for physical profit, not for cash profit. We're for love profit, sharing the love. Yeah. We want people to step forward and become a more whole and human being. So our kingdom and our Motivate community is going to survive, but our primary concern is our community, our people. So I'd like to thank all the regulars here and everyone that's had your camera on. Estrelita and the team that make these events possible, thank you very much. You may also see the MMM team. I work with, or one of our top students, graduates, Janine, started MMM, Monday Morning Motivation. This is on, 12, 11, 12, 11 and a half hours this beautiful session is on. It's Monday morning, 7 a.m. China time, 9 p.m. Queensland time. These are 30 to 50-minute sessions that the Monday morning motivation crew do every Monday morning. So this was all based in Shanghai. Janine founded this. Motivate Community, we were the first people to pay Janine. And Janine's an amazing speaker. She's organized Monday morning motivation every Monday morning, sessions like this, but it's different. They're half-hour sessions. Gregory goes there sometimes. I go there sometimes. Estrelita and Darko, we all help these two communities go. But we're following the same thing. We're sharing from the heart, sharing from the love sense. Tomorrow morning is going to be a great hypnotherapist, coach. She hasn't specifically trained in NLP. She's RTT, which is based in NLP. It's a modality. Next week, we're going to have Dino. Dino is helping teachers become coaches. He's probably one of the most successful and fastest growing coaches I've seen in China. He did our training 4 or 5 years ago, and he has attended every single session, I think. He also did the master practitioner. So Dino's done, I don't know, maybe 60 sessions with me and the team, and another few hundred, maybe a few other thousand now. So he's a really high-performing coach based in Shanghai. He helps a lot of coaches, and he coaches a lot of coaches. Now, you may hear this in the coaching world, coaches help coaches. Dino can actually do it. He's got really strong warrior ability, and he's used his warrior ability to develop an amazing love life, magician skills, king skills. So he's a great role model. And that's the grad cert. If anyone's interested in the grad cert, the website's really simple, nlp.edu.au. Now, the NLP isn't for coaching, it's for your whole entire life. Someone was telling me before about NLP, and they're not doing NLP anymore because they're not coaching. And I'm like, he's still living. NLP is fundamentally NLP and neuro, is right. It's the neurology, the nervous system, all of this, which is in the physical, real, tangible world. As soon as we go from tangible world, we see it. Our brain changes it, and we codify it. We call it a chair, right? So we got our sensory world in the nervous system. Yeah, we got our linguistics, how we actually language it, and then we got patterns or programming, neuro-linguistic programming. It is the bomb. But as I mentioned, this is like a 1-year course, part-time or casual.
Boom! You made it here! Good on you. Make sure you click the subscribe button below and check out the playlist at the end. If you'd like to come along to our Sunday sessions where we host a live, free Q&A for our students and members, you're welcome. I'll see you there.